Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. And Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be based on this storm Kristen that hit Portugal and killed at least 5 people. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says at least 5 people have died after Storm Kristen tore through central and northern Portugal, causing flooding, landslides, and widespread damage. The storm, which the government describes as an extreme climactic event, left schools shuttered, buildings damaged, and travel severely disrupted. In the coastal city of Figueira de Foz, a Ferris wheel overturned and several vehicles were hit when part of a roof was torn from a building. Portugal has been hit by a succession of storms in recent days, including one over the weekend in which a man died after his car was swept away in floods. Heavy rain and wind gusts of up to 95 miles per hour caused more than 3,000 weather-related incidents across the country. Civil protection authorities said several people were struck by falling trees or debris. The strongest winds were recorded at the Monte Rail Air Base in Lyria, where gusts of 178 kilometers were recorded before the monitoring equipment was destroyed. Officials said the location was likely the storm's entry point to mainland Portugal. More than 850,000 people lost power on Wednesday, according to electricity distributor Eredis. The Civil Protection Agency reported that 3 people had died in the central district of Lyria, one of the worst affected areas. In Lyra, one person was hit by a metal sheet and another was trapped in the structure of a house, according to officials. Local media said a man in Villa France Zero died when a tree struck his car. There were also reports of a death in the Marina Grande area. Transport across Portugal has been severely disrupted, with roads including the main motorway connecting Lisbon to the north and railways blocked by debris. 10 coastal areas were placed under a red weather warning on Wednesday due to dangerous sea conditions, with waves forecast to reach up to 45 feet 11 inches, according to the Portuguese Institute of the Sea and Atmosphere. The PSP, Public Security Police, urged people in Coimbra and Lyra to stay inside, while Portugal's Secretary of State for Civil Protection said the country remained on maximum alert. Prime Minister Luis Montenegro expressed condolences to the victims' families. He said authorities were assessing the damage and would take whatever measures are necessary. Meanwhile, Lyria's mayor, Goncalo Lopez, urged the government to declare a state of emergency. He said, "We have public spaces turned upside down," he told reporters. "It's something that will require a very large recovery effort in the coming months. The impact is similar to what a bomb could mean in our city, with massive destruction." After crossing Portugal, Storm Kristen moved east into Spain, bringing with it snow, rain, and strong winds. The storm caused widespread disruption across the country, with schools, roads, and train lines closed and hundreds of thousands without power. In Andalusia, emergency services reported some 2,000 weather-related incidents. Spain's National Weather Agency warned of very strong winds in some areas, with gusts expected to reach hurricane force. A red weather alert has been issued for parts of Almeria in the southeast due to the strength of the wind. Yep, so yet another place getting hit with the storms of the Lord, the destructive, deadly storms of the Lord. Isaiah 29:6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. Yeah, and Portugal just got hit with a destructive, deadly storm from the Lord. The Lord just visited them with some judgment. Isaiah 28:2. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down to the earth with the hand. And those people out there in Portugal got hit with that. Got hit with some flooding, some landslides, widespread damage. Buildings got damaged. Travel was severely disrupted. Said a Ferris wheel overturned and several vehicles were hit when part of a roof was torn from a building. A man died after his car was swept away in floods. Says more than 850,000 people lost power. So yeah, this was a destroying storm. And there was some flooding as well, and some landslides. And this is all the power of the Heavenly Father Yahweh. Psalms 11:6. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and an horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. And when you look up the definition of tempest, it's a violent, windy storm. And that's how, a Ferris wheel was able to be knocked over, That's how part of a roof was torn from a building. That's how the power outages happen. Like it says, heavy rain and wind gusts, 95 miles per hour. Several people were struck by falling trees or debris, more than likely due to those powerful winds. Psalms 83:14. As the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. Verse 15. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. And that's why they had to shutter the schools. Because the flooding, the powerful winds, the power outages, the falling trees, the landslides. A lot of danger, a lot of hazards, a lot of destruction, and a couple of deaths took place because of these storms and tempests of the Lord. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And with this storm, the Lord killed and wounded a few people. It says that at least 5 people got killed. And this is the judgment of the Lord. And like it says at the end here, neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So it doesn't matter, what alerts these different countries have, if they warn people early enough. It doesn't matter if they have, their National Guard or the police out there trying to help people. At the end of the day, when the Lord pours out his judgment, whoever is meant to be wounded and or killed is going to be wounded and or killed. There's nothing that man can do to prevent the judgments of the Lord from coming to pass. First Samuel 2:6. The Lord Yahweh killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. So those 5 people that died, they were killed by the Lord. They were killed by the Lord's storm and tempest. The Lord brought them down to the grave. Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished, being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? And the answer is, no one has ever perished being innocent. So those people who died were not innocent in the eyes of the Lord. And that's why he allowed them to die. Verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. And that's what's happening. Wicked people all over the world are being put to death by the Lord through his judgments for their wickedness. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to repurpose under the heaven. Verse 2. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. And for those people who died, it was their time to die. And this applies to anybody, anywhere in the world who dies, whether they're men, women, or children. If they die, it was because it was their time to die according to the will of the Lord. And seeing as we're in the last days, there's a lot more people that are going to die out here. 2 Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And you look up the definition of perilous, and it means full of danger or risk, hazardous. And that's the time and season that we're in. A lot of danger, a lot of storms and tempests, a lot of earthquakes, a lot of fires, a lot of violence, a lot of chaos, a lot of death and destruction is going to be taking place all over the world. And a lot of people are going to get wounded, and a lot of people are going to get killed. So for all you sincere brothers and sisters, just make sure that you stay prayed up and hope that the Lord, continues to keep his hedge of protection over you and your loved ones in these increasingly dangerous and perilous times. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash, the Wadi How Ba'Shem Yahushai for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to all the sincere believers. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up. Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, Shalom.